Something you'll come across and find yourself wanting to explore more and more in Melbourne is their laneways, and how the Melbourneites embrace them, use them, and enjoy them. So let's have a look. As you come off these streets and you end up with these laneways. Now, Brisbane and some other cities weren't actually built with laneways as such, and if they were, they're no longer used. What they do in Melbourne is they use them. So we come down off Latrobe Street, we come down this little laneway, and we're just about to go up Guildford Lane. And up Guildford Lane, my wife's quite excited to come up here because this is where the Cat Cafe is. Now, whilst you may not be interested in the Cat Cafe, there is another cafe up here that I'll show you. A bit of a nod and a wink and a tap of the nose. There's a cafe here that I love. Crimper Cafe is in behind these doors. So again, you wouldn't know it was there unless you knew it was there. Does that make sense? So let's go on in and have a look. What a great little hole, little den. Okay, so just a couple of doors up from the Crimper Cafe. Here it is. As much as I don't really want to do this as part of Out&About, my wife's going to tell you where we are now. Where are we now, Deb?
Cafe.
And what happens in here?
Pat cats.
You pat cats.
Yes, that's right.
Is that it? So they've got prices here. It's like prostituting cats. $25 an entry and a cat happy meal. And here they are. Here there's Porsche and Mercedes. All the porn star bloody cats are in here. And there's a movie night with cats. Different types of prostitute cats. And what's your experiences of being in prostitute cats?
It's not prostitute cats, it's lovely cats, and they're lovely.
Is that it?
Yes, and it's a lovely experience.
So when you're out and about and you're coming down to Melbourne, would you recommend this cat cafe?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. Happy wife. So I've been in Guildford Lane a couple of times now, and I've just found this sign here, Time and Love Make a Difference. In it says that, welcome to Guildford Lane. We hope you enjoy your time in our green oasis and linger a bit longer. Guildford Lane has recently been protected by a historic overlay. It is home to businesses, families, furry friends and small creatures. In true Melbourne style, many of the delights are hidden treasures. The green oasis is here because residents and building owners wanted to make a difference. In 2017 we joined with the City of Melbourne to create this space. Now the residents are responsible for nurturing and maintaining our garden. Please help us protect and extend the love by being kind to one another and calling out bad behaviour if necessary. Appreciate, but please don't appropriate our plants. All donations received with gratitude. So that's interesting, I found. So if you're in Melbourne, take time out and get about in Guildford Lane. Certainly another way to see this city. So something I just overheard then from a tour guide is apparently in Melbourne there's 260 laneways. Most of us have grown up not needing to or wanting to or being allowed to go down a laneway, but here in Melbourne it's seized upon and done in style. Just to orientate you, we're in the city now in Melbourne, and this is Bourke Street Mall. The trams come up and down here, so when you're wandering around just be careful. It's a mall, but it's deceptive because it's got trams running along it. Anyway, there's shops on both sides. As you can see, we have David Jones over there, you've got Suzanne, Foot Locker, etc. But Myers is the one to keep in mind, perhaps a good one to keep in reference for finding your whereabouts, because down on that side there, on the western end of Bourke Street Mall, in Myers, inside and downstairs are some toilets, so keep that one in mind. Off Bourke Street Mall is the Royal Arcade. A lot of the touristies will come in here, but it's not really in keeping with our theme for Out and About, in that there's too many shops, not enough camping, no grass, and you can't really see the sky too well except through these glass panels. which makes it quite a distinctive area. And then there's a clock down the end here with some interesting characters, Gog and Magog, on it that on the hour chimes. You might want to time your visit for that. A few curiosity shops around the place, and touristy orientated, of course. The sign on the wall there says that these two 7-foot giants have been striking the time on Gaunt's clock since 1892. So I mentioned before about laneways, and here's probably a pretty good example in Melbourne. We just got this cardboard and bedding, and goodness knows what's behind there. Water bottle, grates, dirty, bit of dust and greedy, and stickers, posters, bollards. And then right next to all this, bins and stickers and rubbish, you have these little coffee shops, dining areas, markets. Quite fascinating, because at the end of the day, you're in this laneway in the centre of the city. Something's a little bit unique, I think, when you're coming into Melbourne, but it's what makes Melbourne, Melbourne, and you enjoy it. And we come here now, we cross this little streetway, and we come to Dayv Street. And Dayv Street, again, another laneway. More gutters, more streets, more stepping stones, and you have this upmarket restauranty area, all the pasta dishes and spaghetti and all that sort of stuff you could wish for in a laneway situation with people eating in the gutters. Again, it's Melbourne and you get to love it. So just to orientate you, that's the Federation Square area, looking out over towards the cricket ground, the tennis centres, and we're going to go up Hosier Lane. Now, if ever you want an example of a laneway in Melbourne that's become a tourist attraction with all the artwork and graffiti and the tourists, this is it. Again, dirty, can be smelly, has little nooks and crannies with things stuck in it that you wouldn't touch, but it's part of Melbourne, very much so. So if you think you've seen the graffiti here, come back tomorrow, it changes. So there's a mix of tourists and locals, which is a bit sad in many ways. Still in Hosier Lane, and there's a big mega ass shop in here for Culture Kings. Have a look at that. And for the juxtaposition, just across the laneway, Melbourne. So walking around Melbourne, it's hard to avoid these little laneways and coffee shops that you come across, and it's even harder to say no, I'm not going to stop. But yeah, try if you can. I dare you. This is in the old church called the Chapter House. So I hope you've enjoyed Out and About's visit to Melbourne and our exploration of some of the unique things. I'm going to sit back quietly and enjoy this magic coffee. So there you go.